hello. It's another glorious day, my tea sippers, and you know what time it is. I hope you have all of your crumpets together because it's time to dish tea. And you're dishing tea, darlings, with Big Meech.
Can't wait. It's time to dish tea with Big Meech. It's time to dish tea with Big Meech. It's time to dish tea with Big Meech. It's time to dish tea with Big Meech.
Darling. Oh, there we go. Hello. Oh, okay, deep swallow. What's going on? To all of my tea sippers, my crumpet dunkers, my tea brewers, my pot stirrers, and my tea leaf readers, and don't forget about my tea baggers, honey. What's your tea? What is your tea, honey? It's another glorious day, my darlings. I'm sure you have all of your crumpets together because, darling, you know what time it is, honey. It's time to dish tea, and you are dishing tea, darlings, with Big Meech. What's up? Oh, honeys. Darlings. It has been a very interesting week, okay, for me. I'm going to start off with a somber note because I want to get this out the way. And just to have an homage moment for just a few minutes. Y'all don't mind, do you? On yesterday, June 8th, 2023, I lost someone. Well, we didn't lose. I know. Not that we lost. Someone passed on and became part of the ancestry. That was very, 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 very dear to me. Okay, I'm gonna show you this picture. This is my prom picture. I remember this day so vividly, it's ridiculous. Okay. But this is, I believe, May 31st, 1987. And this here was my senior prom. Okay. The young lady in the picture right here, her name is Desiree. Not Desiree, Desiree Dowdy. Okay. She and I met back in 77, 78. My family had moved above her family. Okay, in a 2-family flat on Continental between Jefferson and Feud, although we keep saying Freud and we kept fucking up the name. Between Jefferson and Feud, second house off the corner of Feud. Okay. Um, and I remember so vividly when we met. Because when we first moved in, they were outside and carrying on, and we were playing and stuff. And my mother sit me downstairs because Daddy needed some salt or something for dinner. So Mama asked me to go downstairs and ask the lady downstairs if we can borrow some salt. And Barbara had come to the door, and the kids nowadays think y'all doing something because y'all wearing wigs and stuff. But back in the day, this is 1977, 78. Um, you know, Mama and Barbara, we call them hair pieces and extensions and falls and things. And Barbara had this dark black, it was what we call it jet black bob, okay? And she came to the door. I said, I'm sorry to disturb you, but my mama want to know if y'all have some salt. And Barbara come to the door with the salt shaker. She said, here you are. And so I said, okay, I'm going to bring it back down when we're done. And Desiree, they were sitting at the table eating, and Desiree waved at me, and I waved back. And that was one of the starts of our friendship, okay? We would sit down on the porch all the time. She was the oldest of her siblings. I'm the oldest of mine. Then we found out that we were the same age, but her birthday was January 13th. My birthday is March 4th. So she's older than me, technically, okay, by a month and a half. So we will always play on that. Well, I'm older than you, and so I was, respect your elders kind of thing. And she didn't remember this. I brought this up to her a few times, and she always told me that she didn't remember this, but I remember it because this was the one time that I hurt her, and I'm reacting because growing up in an abusive household, this is the first time that this happened, and I said I had made a vow then I would never do that again. She and I were sitting on the porch, and we had a difference of opinion because she was raised Jehovah's Witness. And we were talking about the Bible and stuff, right? And I didn't know, the all scriptures inspired Bible was the Jehovah's Witness Bible. And I had never heard of it or whatever. And so I'm telling her what's going on. So I'm being very Christian. And I'm saying this, and she's saying something else, right? And I said, that's wrong. And she said, it's not wrong. And we got into this argument or whatever about it. And at that time, she was wearing glasses. And I hauled up and I had slapped the shit out of her. And she had started crying. And when she started crying, that hurt me so badly because I was like, oh my God. I had never seen my mama cry. My mother fought back. Okay, so I'm acting out of what I see my daddy do all the time. And it was then that I vowed I would never, ever, 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 do that again, right? Because I did it because, hell, that's what the men did. You wrong, and I slapped her. Or she said, why did you do that? That hurt me, and that hurt my feelings, and I said I would never do that again. And so since that day on that porch, I have always said that if I were to ever get with a woman, I needed a woman to be strong or whatever. Cause I got heard the tale. I talked about my mama and my daddy all the time. And so I wanted someone to be like my mother. But we ended up moving off from Continental, and both of us had moved on Lycast. And I remember this so vividly because this was the era of slumlords before it became a news thing, right? And I got the picture up here because I want y'all to still see her. I got the picture up there because, okay, I'm repeating myself, but okay. This is the era of the slum landlords. And my mother and father were having problems with the house. And, the landlord wasn't coming through. And so Paul and Barbara was having problems. And then, the landlord just wouldn't come through. So we ended up moving after mama and daddy fucked up that house. Okay. When I tell you they tore that house down, they made sure that since you didn't want to come fix anything, you had to fix everything, right? So we moved, and we moved on Lycast, again, between Jefferson and Freud, a feud. We were at 1248 and 1252. Okay? That was our addresses. And so again, we were upstairs, they were downstairs. And so we living. Time had come, mama and daddy going through their problems. Mama left. Paul and Barbara started having problems. Paul left. Paul ended up over where we were because we were with my godmother's house. So Paul left Barbara to go be with my godmother, which was hateful and interesting. And my mother didn't like Paul because she was like, how you doing Barbara like that? It was a whole big thing. That was grown folks shit, and I didn't get into it. But I just know what I heard because y'all know I'm a professional ear hustler. And it had come time and stuff that was going on, and Paul would take Barbara's food stamps and take them over to Peaches' house and this, that, and the other, and Peaches didn't know where they were coming from because she just thought the man was coming through doing what he's supposed to do. Paul said that they're taking Barbara's food stamps, going over there to feed Peaches' kids and all that. When Mama found out about it, it was a mess. When Peaches found out about it, Bay and B, honey. When Miss Peaches found out, that was the whole do-I-diddy. Okay? So what ended up happening, eventually we ended up moving in together. Mama and she was trying to get herself together. She left my dad going through a divorce. My mother became disabled at that time and was told she couldn't go back to work. So this is when we went from being a middle-class family. Let me take the picture down. I'm going to put it back up in a minute so y'all can see me. We went from being a middle-class family at that time to now we're on welfare. We on food stamps, that kind of jazz. We were homeless practically. No, not practically. We were. Okay. Mama left Peaches' house because, Peaches wanted to do her own thing and carrying on, and it was her house. Mama being an independent woman, I needed to, okay. So Barbara was struggling. Paul had left and carried on. So now they said, okay, but girls, look, we're going to do this. Mama and Barbara said, yeah, y'all come on over here. So it's 2 women and 8 kids. Two women, 8 kids, because both of them have 4 kids in this house. It was a 2-bedroom flat. We on the lower level. Mama took the basement. Okay. So Desiree and me, or was that no, Desiree and I. Now we're living together. And what was a friendship became a family. And I always say, if there was ever a thing as my exact female equivalent, that was her. For 730 days. here, 730 days, 2 years, we fought. And I mean, fought. Okay? And I'm trying not to hit this girl because, I'm trying to be cute. But that girl knocked the shit out of me one day. I whooped her ass. But then, goddamn it, she whooped mine. When I tell you it was 1 year on and 1 year off for me, because I whooped her ass for 1 year, and goddamn it, she whooped mine the next. Whatever, child, do your own math. We could go day by day or whatever. Today was my day. Tomorrow was her, whatever. You understand? For 2 years, we fought. God. Oh, my mother started dating Edward. Okay. Edward would come through. And so now, Barbara, being the sister, she now allowing Edward, because we got a man in the house or come by the house, he is now playing disciplinarian and shit. Okay. So whenever the grown folks would leave, Edward would leave me in charge because I was the man of the house. So that's how a lot of shit got started with me and Desiree. Because she would always play that, but I'm older than you. And I'm like, but I'm in charge. And you Mama ended up getting on her feet. We found a place. No, it wasn't. We found the place, but what had happened, that house started falling apart. And I remember the day that Barbara, she had just lost it because the bathroom sink, something had happened. It was always leaking and carrying on, but she had something in her hand and she dropped it. And when she dropped it, the sink just broke in half, right? And she, oh my God, she just broke down so badly that day. And so now everybody got to move. So now Mama helping her find a place. We done found a place. So, we sitting up here, we doing. That was when we had moved on Newport. We was on Mac and Newport at that time. And so, life happens and carrying on, and we were out of contact with one another for a while. Then, we ended up back with each other. Life happened. I told y'all about my mom the first time that she was DOA at the hospital and stuff. That was in 82. Then we, Mama got out the hospital to find out we had moved off of Newport, moved onto Phillip Street. And I told y'all about the part where my mama was, we were supposed to be moving in the house, and the people who lived in the house hadn't moved out yet. Talking about they hadn't had a truck. So while we were bringing stuff in the house, Mama was grabbing their shit and throwing their shit out the house and putting it on the truck. Okay, you don't want it, honey. This Essie Lorraine, she said, get this shit and put it on that damn truck. Talking about y'all didn't have no damn truck. You got one now, goddamn it. Y'all gonna use this because you're getting the fuck up out of here. She told them to that people. When Mama got sick and carrying on, we believed that somebody set that house on fire. Okay, because it was arson and carrying on and all of that. So we were going through. We ended up out in Herman Garden Projects. That's when I first started high school. And then when we left the gardens, this is how we got back with Desiree and Barbara and Michelle and our dad, Nate Daniel, that's the brother. That's how we got back with them, because they were living on Delaware, between 12th and 14th, and this time they were upstairs. So when we moved in downstairs. So now we back together again. And it was then, you know, we teenagers now. So, you know, Desiree, she was the hugest Michael Jackson fan ever. Okay, hugest. And at that particular time, you know, VCRs was real big. You know, we had just come out of beta and was going into VHS. Everything went VHS. So she was recording all of the music videos at the time, and I thought that was the dumbest thing. Yeah, I thought that was the dumbest thing at the time. Now, of course, you know, I'm going back trying to find footage, right? But she was recording it and everything Michael Jackson. She had all of the Michael Jackson dials. If y'all remember the Michael Jackson dials that had all the different, she had every Michael Jackson dial that came out, all the Tiger Beat magazines, all the Beat Street magazines, everything that had Michael Jackson's face on it, she had, child, okay? She was very much into V.C. Andrews. She was an avid reader. That girl, her pastime was reading. She would sit down and just read. She loved Stephen King, okay? And she, hell, if she was in the room, she was reading. If she wasn't asleep, she was reading, okay? She always had a book in her hand. And she didn't realize how intelligent she was because of all the reading she was doing. She had a very vast vocabulary and didn't give herself credit for it. You know what I'm saying? And because she was saying words out of the vocabulary buff. And she would say some shit. I'm like, girl, how in the hell? How you know that word? You know? And she said, and she didn't believe, she didn't know she was, you know, she had said it or whatever. But because of she was reading and carrying on. And I was reading too. I wasn't reading the kind of book she was reading because she loved, like I said, you know, their horror and, you know, their whole thing like that. I was more so into biographies and mysteries, right? So, yeah, we both had a love for music. And even though I don't call it dating, if that's what it was, we were on movie dates, honey. We would go to the Northwest Theater every fucking weekend, honey. Every weekend. We went to the movie. We saw damn near everything, right? And sometimes we took the kids, you know, our siblings, because sometimes we took them, sometimes we didn't. But that was us, you know. We went to go see the movie, child, just going out being us, best friends, this, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. The prom picture, I'm gonna put it back up again. I end up taking her to my prom because she had dropped out of high school and she went back to go get her GED, okay? But she had never did the prom. She never did her prom or whatever, right? And all of that. So my thing was, I said, well, hey, why don't you be my prom date? You can go to my prom with me and this will be fun, okay? And, oh, she was so excited. She was so excited. And her aunt had made her dress, right? Her aunt Georgetta made her dress, and her aunt Marianne had come by and did her hair and her makeup and stuff. And I went and got her a wrist corsage because that was so cute. Because I knew the dress was gonna be off the shoulders. I said, no, I don't want to. There wasn't nothing to stick, so I got her a wrist corsage and carrying on. And I told y'all before that my folks call me Dynasty in the making because, you know, Dynasty was the hot show back then. And what it was, I used to date Desiree's stepsister. Now here's where the drama come in at. I used to date Desiree's stepsister. Okay. None of them knew that I was having an affair with their daddy. Right. So my mother didn't know that. I could not tell her that. I could not have ever told her that. That would have broke her damn heart. Much she hated that man, that would have broke her heart. Um, they didn't know that. So Charlene and I, yeah, we had broke up or whatever, but they were stepsisters. But Charlene's mom was a friend of mine, right? Margaret and I had forged a friendship, and that may sound odd because I'm a teenager, friending this adult woman. But we have forged this friendship or whatever. And so Margaret wanted to be my chauffeur. And she says, "Oh, well, I'll take you." As a matter of fact, Margaret even let me drive her car. Right when I first got my license, she let me drive her car. I went to the gas station, I pulled too close to the pole. I ended up scratching the door a little bit. And I said, "Oh my God," I tore up the door. She said, "What?" And she said, "Oh," she said, "Well, it's rather cute, actually." She always saw stuff in a very different way. But she ended up being my chauffeur. And she took us to the prom and took us around the city and carried on. And I ended up falling asleep at 3 o'clock in the morning, in the backseat of the car. But we were driving around and carrying on and just that and that. We went down to Belle Isle, on the island, around the island, hanging out the window. I'm hollering, I'm graduating, this, that, and the other. And she did that for us. And Desiree was so, she was such a tomboy. Well, not tomboy. She didn't, she wasn't all that masculine, but she was just tomboyish. But that night, honey, she was such a lady. She was so prim and so proper, and she was very soft-spoken and stuff, and she took her time with her dinner and stuff. I took the first dance with her when I got out on the dance floor. I danced with her so that we could cut a rug the way that we do. And then everybody saw how I was dancing, because, all of that. And so all the girls wanted to dance with me because, the boys were trying to slow dance, and I'm trying to pop and, get my little wiggle on. So all the girls wanted to dance with me. I ended up stripping at the prom because I got hot. Come out my damn shoes. I came out my coat, unbuttoned my shirt. Okay. Desiree was having a good time. I was like, "Girl, you coming out?" And she said, "No, go ahead. I'm good." And she sat at the table, and she had a real good time. And so, yeah. After that, again, we stayed together until we ended up moving. When we moved from Delaware, where did we go? Delaware, I think we moved from Delaware over onto Santa Rosa. I think that was Santa Rosa. And then I was trying to get my own place, and life happened. And after that particular point, we wasn't as in touch as we were, like every day. She ended up having children. Now I was around with her firstborn, who I think that's Andrew. Drew's the first baby. I was around then, and he wouldn't. I watched him from the time she had him until he started walking and he was about to start talking. So, he may not remember all that, but I remember him. The other three, I wasn't around, so I still don't know all of their names or whatever. And that's kind of sad that I don't. But again, I started doing my thing, but we always kept in touch. We always stayed in touch. And one thing that was a ritual of ours was that I will always call her on her birthday. And I will call her because, that's the time we caught up and carried on. And I call her Lulu. And I started calling her Lulu because when we used to watch I Love Lucy, at the end it said, "This is a Desi Lou Productions." So her name being Desiree, and that was Desi Lou, she thought that was cute. So I started calling her Lulu. And we stuck with it, right? So I will always call her that. And so even though she knew I would call, she didn't know when I was going to call, right? So there would be moments where out of the blue, I would just say, "Lulu!" And she knew it was me because I'm like, and she go, Demetrius. And we would go, and it was as if, we picked right up where we left off. Right up. And wow, I just don't know a world without her. And when I got the call yesterday, I knew something was wrong because the phone, the number come up under their last name. And I'm like, oh, right. And I said, okay, well, wait a minute. Let me see what's up. And when I heard her sister's voice, she said, Demetrius, I'm sorry. That was me trying to blow you up on Messenger, but I hadn't seen it because I'm at work, right? And I hadn't seen my phone. And I said, girl, don't do it. I said, don't do it. She said, Michi. I said, don't do it. She said, it's Desiree. I just wanted to let you know that she gone. And I broke down a minute. A co-worker, he said, Meech, go walk it off. Go out the office, go walk, boo, go walk. And I'm like, oh, everything is going through my head. All the jokes we played on each other. She used to always wiggle her toes because we went into Sister Sledge. She used to always wiggle her toes. We are the Sister Sledges, and try to sing and all of those stupid shit. She used to always be kind of abusive to me. She said, oh, Lord, okay. She always say, she always wanted to hit me. So she said, oh, I just want to bust you up. I just want to, Demetrius, I just want to bust you up. And yeah, a lot of folks thought that we were going to get married. They always said we acted like a married couple. I told y'all this story before. And we was apostolic Christian, step out on faith, this, that, and other. There's a New Jerusalem Christian Center. And everybody told me, oh, God does show me your wife. God does show me your wife. That's your wife right here. So, he started out on faith, and I'm sitting up there, oh, okay. God gonna let me get married. God gonna let me get married. So guess what? I done called everybody and told everybody I'm getting married. I done called her brother Nate. I said, Nate, what you think if I asked Desiree about me? He said, you think you want to do that? I said, what you think about it? He said, well, yeah, y'all been together. Your mind well. He was all like that. But he was a little skeptical about it, right? I done called my grandma, I'm getting married. Oh, baby, that's so good. I done told everybody but her. How the fuck I'm getting married? And I told everybody I'm getting married, but the person that's supposed to be walking down the aisle with me. Go figure that one out, honey. God. I told her about that like years later. Right after I had left that church and carried on, I told her, I said, girl, I'm going to be telling everybody I'm about to marry you, girl. I ain't never told you. She said, told me what? I said, just that. I said that I was supposed to be marrying. And she said, marrying who? I said, you. Oh, she got a cackle out of that, baby. We cackle for days. Days. Mm. But she gone. She gone. Lord have mercy. I'm all right. I'm okay. No, I'm not all right. I'm not all right. I'm okay because I'm in this state of numbness. I'm in this state of damn again. Okay. And I don't want to beat myself up because, like I said, I should know her children better than I know them. In fact, the younger, like I said, I really no. Let me stop that. I don't know them. Okay, I don't know them. And I should because that was my sister. You know, but we talked about them all the time. You know what I'm saying? And this, that, and the other. Um, as a matter of fact, her eldest boy is gay. And she came to me. She called me about that. That was one of the things that we talked about. She knew that boy was gonna be gay. He wasn't even 3 years old yet. And it was the way how he was walking to the house. She said, Demetrius. I said, you already know. I said, you already know. She said, girl. She said, girl. She said, oh, I didn't mean to call you girl. You know, I think I'm talking to Kenya. Oh, where's Miss Kenya? Oh, Kenya, I got the she said, yeah, he gonna be. He said, yeah. She said, yeah, my baby gonna be. I said, girl, you've been around me. I said, you know all of it, right? You know all the signs. You see that now, and that baby ain't did nothing but be himself. I said, so don't you try to change him. You see it. You see it, and you're very protected. So you know he ain't been around nobody. Ain't nobody been touched. So all of the narratives that everybody keep trying to say about gay children, you don't have none of that in your wheelhouse. And you see this baby's being himself. She said, yeah, but that's my child. I love my baby. I said, you better. And I know that, right? So it has just wow. And you know how folks are just in your life and you not necessarily take it for granted, but you just know that they're staples, right? And here we are. We always talked about, getting old together and stuff, and how, at 75, we're going to be in the rocker chair, in the wheelchair, like we saw our neighbors and stuff. Everybody out on the porch, hollering up the street, hey, how you doing, girl? They don't come over nobody's house no more. They just holler up the street. Right. On the porch in their rocker chair, just rocking with either a glass of lemonade or some water, maybe Kool-Aid, And we talked about that all the time. I had the grandkids and the kids and this. We talked about that. But my baby got up out of here at 53. 53. And I'm like, wow. So trying to hold it together, trying to put it together, trying to whatever it together. I'm in a state where, like, Jesus, help me. Okay. Help me. Because I don't know. I said in the text, was it on Facebook when I did a lot of stuff I'm saying here I had wrote on Facebook. And I said, I'm so tired of putting my world back together again. I'm tired. So we're just going to live in the ruins for a minute. You know what I'm saying? Because every time I put my world back together again, it goes kaboom yet again. I mean, hell, it's just April that I just dealt with my grandson, committing suicide in my house. This April 11th, 411. So now here we go at 6:08. You know, my sister friend is gone. Okay. And it's heavy. It's heavy. But like I said, I'm okay. I'm not all right yet. I'm gonna get there. But I just want to call her name. Her name was Desiree Dowdy. She didn't have a middle name. She was born on January 13th, 1970. And she left out of here on June 8th, 2023. She has 4 beautiful children. She's the eldest of 4. Her sister Michelle, that's the one who called me, with 3 girls and a boy. And Michelle said, that was my second mama. She said, I don't know what to do. She said, that was, Desiree was mama when mama wasn't there. She was my second mama. And I told her, I said, baby, yeah, we raised y'all, because her sister and my sisters are the same age. They're both, all of them were born in 77. In fact, Michelle's birthday is coming up on the 20th. So, you know, they lost their mom a few years ago. Barbara passed, this is 2023. I think Barbara passed at maybe 17 or 18. I think something like that, maybe 2019. And then mine is gone in 2021. Okay. And so, you know, it's, it's, what do you do? Okay. And I guess to keep myself upbeat or whatever, I always say, what would you do for a Klondike bar, honey? What would you do for a Klondike? Because right now, that's all I want is the ice cream. I want the ice cream and the sweetness of life. I want to be able to just get away and say, this isn't happening. This is not happening. I want this to be a dream. I really and truly want the last 5 years of my life to be a dream. That's what I want. But the reality is, it is what it is. It is what it appears to be. And I have to now let that become the fuel in the burner so that I can continue to move on. So, Miss Desiree Dowdy, honey, when we did the damn thing, we did the damn thing. When we did it, we did it. She was bold as that Capricorn, honey. She was bold, vibrant, you know. She had dreams and stuff. She wanted to be a nurse at one point. She thought she wanted to be a nurse. But then she was downing herself because she felt that because she only had a GED, that it wasn't going to be good enough. So she would doubt herself. And I would tell her, Miss Thing, as much as you read, girl, you know how to pick up on this. You know how to pick up on that. You could do this. And yeah. She was, I won't say a devout Jehovah's Witness. They were raised in the Jehovah's Witness faith. And I don't know how the services are going to be. I know her sister told me that they've already, Desiree had expressed her wishes a long time ago. But I don't know how Jehovah's Witnesses, you know, do their services or whatever. So I told them to keep me posted so that I can come home if they're going to have a service or memorial, whatever, and say goodbye to my sister and look at her children and love on them. Mm. 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 We did it, girl. And you go ahead on and rest peacefully. She was struggling, y'all. She was struggling with some health issues. When I was home with taking care of mama stuff, I did get a chance to go by the hospital to see her because I had got so enthralled with taking care of everything, running around and this, that, and the other with mama. And then the same time I had went home to take care of mama stuff, my cousin Pam, they were having her husband's funeral. So I'm leaving one funeral home and leaving my sisters and carrying on to go to the funeral for my cousin. How did that work? Wait a minute. No. That's not right. I wasn't at the funeral home yet. Mama was still in the hospital. And I had came because we were losing her then. They said everything was shutting down and all of that. So we had to start getting prepared. And so I left and then went over there to go see Pam and all of them. And, child. So I didn't get a chance to go and see her when she was in the hospital, but we talked on the phone while I was running around and carrying on as long as she could. So, again, catching up and all of that. That was my sister, y'all. That was my sister. One more time, I'll put a picture up and then we're going to move on, okay? That was us at 17. Yes, I was 185 pounds in this picture, honey. Okay? So if ever y'all want to know what I look like skinny, that's what it is. Nose is still the same, though. Okay. So there is that. That's why I had to get this out the way first, because I couldn't have done this at the end of the show. Okay. So rest on, baby. Rest on. So now let me change the mood just a little bit. I'm gonna play something. Honey. Have y'all heard this song, child? Have y'all heard this song? Yeah. I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna play two versions of it. This here is the first time I heard this song. And then while coming to find this clip to play y'all today, I found the original song. So we're gonna play both versions, but I'm gonna take a break in between. How about this? Cackle with me, children, cackle.
This program features hand-clapping, foot-stomping, down-south gospel music.
Right now we're going to have Mary Carter and her sidekick, Gail Stoddard. They reside right here in Vancouver, attend Amazing Grace Baptist Church. If you see them out and about, tell them they need to sing this song in their church sometimes. And it's simply entitled, this song, as they're going to sing for you, is The Devil's in the Phone Booth Dialing 911. Come up here, ladies, and bless these people.
Well, the devil's in the phone booth, dialing 911. Well, the church is on their knees and they're loading up the spiritual gun. Well, the devil thought he had us, but the tables are turned, and now he's on the run. The devil's in the phone booth, dialing 911. My whole life has changed since the Lord saved me. I proclaim the mighty name of Jesus Christ to everyone that I see. You know the keys to the kingdom are the secret to success, to lose the Holy Ghost and the Son. The devil's in the phone booth, dialing 911. Well, the devil's in the phone booth, dialing 911. Well, the church is on their knees and they're loading up the spiritual gun. Well, the devil thought he had us, but the tables are turned, and now he's on the run. The devil's in the phone booth, dialing 911. What on earth do you want? There's nothing here to see. Jesus saved me, sanctified me, now the Holy Ghost has set me free. From the things of this world that were looking mighty good, the devil lied and said they were fun. The devil's in the phone booth, dialing 911. Well, the devil's in the phone booth, dialing 911. Well, the church is on their knees and they're loading up the spiritual gun. Well, the devil thought he had us, but the tables are turned, and now he's on the run. The devil's in the phone booth, dialing 911. The devil's in the phone booth, dialing 911.
Murray, you and Gail did a great job singing that song, The Devil's in the Phone Booth, now dialing 911. Boy, that's a good song.
Baby, the devil's in the phone booth, dialing 911. Ooh. Now listen, child. I done heard Little Richard in my head. I done heard Tina Turner in my head. I done heard Mama Patty in my head, all doing this damn song in my head, honey. But listen to me. I want to re-record this song. You. Yes, I do. Oh, yes, I do. I want to re-record this song, Sugar Plum, and I want to put a house spin on it. Oh, could you imagine this as a house, a gospel house country song? Could you imagine? Could you imagine? God, the devil's at the phone booth. Dialing 911, 911, 911, emergency. 911, 911, 911, emergency. Oh, darling, I want to re-record that so bad, child. When I first heard it, baby, I screamed. I howled for the gods, and the gods heard me because someone ended up sending me the lyrics to the song. But then, baby, I found the original. Now, I'm going to play the original again. Okay. It's by, I guess he's a country gospel artist. Walt Wiltz, I think that's his name. Y'all to see it because this is from YouTube. But if you come in and watching this in the replay and it's not here, that's because I end up having to take it down for a copyright, right? But yeah, listen.
Well, the devil's in the phone booth, dialing 911. Here the church is on their knees and they're loading up the spiritual gun. Well, the devil thought he had us, but the tables are turned, and now he's on the run. The devil's in the phone booth, dialing 911. My whole life has changed since the Lord saved me. I proclaim the mighty name of Jesus Christ to everyone that I see. You know the keys to the kingdom are the secret to success. To loose the Holy Ghost in the Son, the devil's in the phone booth. Down at 911. Well, the devil's in the phone booth. Down at 911. Yeah, the church is on their knees and they're loading up the spiritual gun. Well, the devil thought he had us, but the tables have turned, and now he's on the run. The devil's in the phone booth. Down at 911. What in hell do you want? There's nothing there for me. Jesus saved me, sanctified me, now the Holy Ghost is setting me free. From the things of the world that were looking mighty good, the devil lied and said they were fun. Now the devil's in the phone booth. Down at 911. Well, the devil's in the phone booth. Down at 911. Yeah, the church is on their knees and they're loading up the spiritual gun. Well, the devil thought he had us, but the tables are turned, and now he's on the run. The devil's in the phone booth. Down at 911. The devil's in the phone booth. Down at 911.
Now, it's a real catchy tune, ain't it? Okay. It's a real catchy tune. Okay. Yes, God. Yes, God, honey. Hold on. It's a catchy tune. It's a catchy tune. And the thing, and you know, he got his little southern drawl, and he doing his thing, honey. The devil's in the phone booth. Dialing 911. Yeah. Ooh. Could you imagine the gospel? You got to have a gospel queen, honey, to give me that soprano note in there. Ooh. You got to have that holler. You got this is why we got to put the soul in there. Okay, now it's cute, but we got to do a little. Honey, listen. I am kind of told y'all, child, that song there had just sent me over the rainbow. And the reason, honey, just number one, to say that the devil's in the phone booth, honey, most of these kids don't even know what the hell a phone booth is. Okay. So, that there is something. But I'm telling you, honey, this song here, it just cackled me. And it cackled me, right? I want y'all to have some fun with that for just a brief moment, honey. The devil is in the phone booth, dialing 911, the children. Okay? We might end up playing that again at the end, honey. I might have to play the ladies, honey. Because the ladies, honey, you know. What you say? You love it. Peter Jackson, he said, I love 911. Okay, right. Okay, yes, honey. Michael, you cackling at me? Oh, I'm so sorry, Meech. Thank you, baby. Okay, hey, Meech, I'm so sorry for your loss. My condolences for you and her family. Thank you, baby. Charles, what you say? That's my new page. Okay, it didn't look like it, honey. You got stuff up there that didn't look like it belonged to you. Okay. But let's get into the show. Because again, there's a story that went out, and I've got to check the rest of it, because I first heard it with Patty Jackson, you know, your auntie of pop culture. I love her tagline. I was listening to her on YouTube, and she was saying that John Amos Now, for those of y'all who don't know John Amos, honey, John Amos is famously known as James Evans Sr. However, he's equally known as Mr. McDowell's from Coming to America, okay? Still in McDonald's playlist and carrying on, okay? And then, now if y'all are into real movie heads, telling y'all would know him as Kansas City Mac, honey, from Uptown Saturday Night, or was that Let's Do It Again? No, that's Let's Do It Again. And then also, you would know him as Kuta Kinte from Roots. Okay, now he has other accolades and stuff in there, but those like the real big ones that we would know, you know, as far as his career is concerned. And there was a story that had gone out that said that he was the victim of elder abuse, and that somehow or another his daughter they had stole him, you know, stole his coin and everything, and left him high and dry, and that they had put up a GoFundMe. Okay, now just before coming on the air, I saw a new thing that said that was a hoax. That no, he's fine, and that what happened was he was hospitalized because he was retaining fluid, but the doctors were able to alleviate the fluid, which made him start feeling better and carrying on. So he's better, okay? And they said, no, there wasn't anything wrong with his finances and carrying on. And that's all I saw. Now, I don't know what's going on with the daughter part of this, because it's something about the daughter had started to GoFundMe or whatever. And there's something with the daughter. I think her name is Shannon. Something with that. So I'm not versed in it as I ought to be covering this, right? However, that there was the new development, okay, in this particular story. And okay. Okay. Oh, you can hear Elvis, okay. However, whatever this story is, okay, it brought about a bigger discussion for me, all right? Because in listening to this, there's a couple things. Actually, there's three things that I want to bring out, okay, that become the topics. Number one, of course, is taking care of our elderly, okay? All of us are going, if we live long, we are going to become elderly, all right? And all of us, I'm sure, are scared half to death about what that means. You know, how many of y'all now? I mean, I know what it is for me. I've got to take this weight off. I was doing a photo shoot today, and I've gained some weight, and I know that. And what's troubling me is that my suits don't fit like I like for them to fit. You know, I don't like having to. I got to suck my stomach in just to button the damn suit. And if I exhale the wrong way, the button is gonna fly off. I don't like that. Okay. At the same time, I notice, and I carry my weight all in my stomach, so I'm looking kind of spheric, you know, very round, like a globe in my midsection here, and especially right here. I don't know what the hell this pouch is right here, right up under my titty line, honey. Right here in the center of where my chest bone, you know, right, you know, when you're supposed to do CPR, you're supposed to go right to the end and go here. You better. You better. Okay. I've got to lose the weight. But I'm going to tell y'all, when I was in the hospital and I was going through my infirm periods, you know, when I almost died 10 years ago and carrying on, and coming out of that surgery and not having my own strength, I did not have the strength. And my road dog, honey, you know, he wanted to wrestle with me and carrying on. And the way how he pinned me down, He pinned me down to the bed. And I'm trying to bluff my way out of it, honey, but I couldn't bluff for shit. Because I was saying the words, but I knew I didn't believe it. So he started laughing at me. Because the one thing I do know is that I will take care of myself. You understand? And at that moment, when I could not muster the strength to push him off me, that scared me to no end. It scared me. Because even right after coming out of all of that, and you know, I had got down to like 260 pounds. That's the lowest that I've been. What? Oh, I forgot, child. I'm sitting here texting Ray, and I'm like, child, seeing if he was coming on the show. And no, he on church duties now. Oh God, his co-pastor is being elevated this weekend, and this is her weekend, and carrying on, and they're down in Cartersville, and I had completely forgot. I'm sitting up here saying, was he gonna come in? So he sent me the flyers, and I'm looking at the date. I said, that's today. I said, oh damn it, I completely forgot. Yeah, that's how come he's not here, y'all. But otherwise, that fear of not being able to handle myself, not being able to take care of myself, I did thought of every 98-pound woman, honey, who walks the streets, and when she's alone or whatever, and she gets attacked or is scared because she sees big men and she don't know how to protect herself. I think of frail men. When men are small, and especially those who are small in stature and they sickly, you know, I know a couple of young men like that, you know, to where they've never had a fight in their life. Why? Because you were born with a heart condition. So, you know, you don't get stressed out or whatever. And I'm thinking about that, you know, when folks want to target people and want to do that. But we're talking about specifically about our elderly. Because, you know, y'all heard me talk about my mother and carrying on, and those who we know, where you knew them at their height and at their best, and they can kick the world and blah, 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 blah. And I look at it from the perspective of when I think about Wonder Woman, y'all know I always make an analogy. When I think about Wonder Woman, I think about the mother, Queen Hippolyta. Okay. When Hippolyta was Wonder Woman at one point, she was the ambassador. Okay, and she come back to Paradise Island, but then she had to turn the reins over, right? Number one, she got tired, but number two, as an older woman, and they're centuries old, you know, doing it that way, honey, she had to turn the reins over. So now, when we talk about our elderly, why do we prey on them the way that we do? Why is it that we youngsters or whatever who sit down there and make our elderly targets? You know, you prey on their emotions, you prey on their bank accounts, you go through all these changes, and we're trying to figure out what is your tea with that. Why do we prey on them? Why do we not care for them? Why do we not revere them to be the sages of our community as they are? You understand? Now, I understand for those of you who may get a little emotional and be like, well, you know, Miss Johnson is always in my business and carrying on. She always telling shit. She always, you know, running her mouth. Well, honey, that's what they do. Okay, that's what they do. It doesn't warrant you to go and to accost them or whatever, or to break into their house and take their things, or to, you know, to beat them. It saddens me when we hear of elder abuse, and you know, sit up there and slap the elders and carrying on. Have y'all seen them videos on YouTube and stuff where they had the hidden cameras, and you hired the professional to come in and care for your loved one, but then they get mad and treat them like kids or whatever. So you slapping them around and throwing them down and killing them because they can't take care of themselves. My great-grandfather was killed by his house attendants. Okay? The people who he trusted, they've been coming to his house. I think they said that they had been working with him for maybe 4 or 5 years. And those are the very ones who killed him. Because they thought that was going to be an easy target. They thought it was going to be an easy target, but my great-grandfather was a World War I veteran. Okay? And they thought that they could, he was stabbed 9 times with 3 different weapons. 9 times with 3 different weapons. And I want to say that when he checked the body, I think he was like 92, 93, somewhere up in there. Okay. Ridiculous. And he stayed alive long enough to where we were told that when the ambulance came and they were trying to work on him on the way to the hospital, all he kept saying was the names of the attendants who had done that. Okay. He kept saying their names. And my great-grandfather, Mr. Frank Smith, okay, was killed from elderly abuse. So how is it that we're able, and you know what? Let me go to some of you pastors out there, because I got something that's coming down the pipeline. I want to go to y'all because y'all so fucking busy talking about the rainbow children. Yeah, this is Pride Month, and I'm a little in my feelings because I came across something on the internet, on YouTube, as a matter of fact. And it's an hour-long thing, like 59 minutes or something. I got to the first minute and 22 seconds, and the boy had already pissed me off. I said, no, I'm not going to go through all this. And I ended up having a comment and carrying on. But y'all so busy worried about the rainbow children, okay? Y'all are so busy worried about what? Okay, to where no one talks about our elderly, okay? Unless they in the church and mother so-and-so, mother. Y'all don't even talk about the father. We don't have, it's always mother so-and-so. How come, how come there's not a father board? You got the mother board. Where's the father board? Or do we just call them deacons? Ain't that interesting? You want the men to run the church, but there's no father board there. But everybody got a mother board. That's a sidetrack. I'm getting distracted. Okay. But we don't talk about elderly abuse unless it's the mothers in the church, And only when they come to church, honey, and do we care about them? A lot of y'all don't go visit the elderly and stuff like that, except for those who are close to them. If you don't feel that they're a part of your family, out of sight, out of mind. But when we hear about this on the streets, when we hear about that, okay, and it doesn't mean anything until it happens close to home. Okay, when it happens to somebody in your family, it's when we get all up in arms. Now we want to kill the world. But this is a problem that goes on. So why aren't we actively and proactively doing anything about it? How come we are not looking at teaching our children conflict resolution skills? If y'all don't want to talk about CRT, okay, well, then let's do CRS. Conflict resolution skills. Okay, we could do CRS versus CRT. Okay, how come we have not been on the forefront to make that happen? How come many of our children are still not revering their elders? See, now let me go here and I'm gonna say this out loud, because we already know that the whole idea of respect your elders, honey, that's a lost art. Because I have yet to hear anybody in this generation teach that to their kids. I have yet to hear that. Every time I've heard it, it come out of people my age and older. Respect your elders. We don't hear that. Okay. They don't understand yes, sir, no, sir, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. They don't even understand all that. They still do not understand why we revere our elders as Miss So-and-so or Mr. So-and-so. Even if they allow you to call them by their first names, it's always Miss Patricia, Miss Diane. Why? Because that's respect. And we learn to get respect. Why? That's PTSD, post-traumatic slave disorder. Okay? That's something good that we got out of it because it gives us the opportunity to revere one another as people and not just cattle. Because oftentimes, honey, the overseers and the taskmasters, the slave owners, the masters, will see us as property, will see us as less than human. And when we greeted one another, it was always Miss So-and-so or Mr. So-and-so to give respect to say you are a person, right? So if that's the case, why is it that we don't take that same reverence with everyone else? Okay, you wouldn't want anyone to come up to your grandmother or your grandfather on the street and snatch their purse. You wouldn't want anybody. Wait a minute, y'all. This is my boss calling me. Why is he calling me? He'll leave me a message. I'm on the air, honey. You wouldn't want anything to happen to your grandparents. So why is it that we sit up there and do not revere everybody else's? Because nobody wants to get involved until it happens to someone you care about. You understand? Why do we do that? And where did we drop the ball? Where did we drop the ball? Huh? There used to be remember when we were kids and the hustle was, in order to make some money, you knew you could go over to Miss Johnson's house or go over to Mr. Bradford's house or whatever. And if he was already cutting the lawn or whatever, you could make some money by raking up the trimmings and the leaves and this, that, and the other. You knew that Miss Johnson, honey, her husband may have died, or maybe he may have gone to work or whatever. Her kids ain't there. So you knew taking out her trash or whatever, you get you a couple of dollars, $2, $3, $4. You know, so you go around the block to make your coin, right? What happened to that? To where we saw them at the neighborhood grandmama. Remember when we had the Kool-Aid houses? This is the Kool-Aid house right here. Everybody had a Kool-Aid house. We knew that was and it was we call it the Kool-Aid house because that was the commercial. Remember the commercial back in the day where everybody knew that so-and-so had Kool-Aid and blah, blah, blah. So everybody ran over there to get a cup. Well, the Kool-Aid house was always the safe house too. All the parents in the neighborhood knew that Miss Johnson, honey, was going to make these kids some lemonade. She was always going to have some cookies or some lemon bars or some Rice Krispie treats or some Cheerio bars or whatever, Cheerio peanut butter bars and things. We knew that was the safe house. Okay. We also knew that if you got out of line, Miss Johnson was also going to be the one to tell your parents. And we lost all of that. We've lost all of that. So now we have so many folks trying to get inoculated into gangs, trying to make a name for themselves, down and out and on their luck. You know, they only out and carrying on. And now you're trying to get a come up. So the easiest way to get a come up is to take out those who you feel you can overpower. Really. My grandmother, my mother's mother, and my great grandfather. This is my mother's mother's father. Okay, that was killed. So I know one time my grandmother was at Northland Mall, Northland, honey, getting in her car, and somebody tried to take her purse. Came up and tried to snatch her purse, but she was, you know, she's the old school girl, honey. You know, a lot of the elderly women that my grandmothers and her sisters are carrying on, that came from hard work and stuff, them women were strong women. And I'm not talking about no strong black woman. I'm not talking about that shit. I'm talking about they were strong because they were working out. They cleaning toilets and bending over and stretching, and they was getting that was exercise, lifting heavy pails of water and carrying on and dragging this and got groceries. They were doing all that. So their bodies were a little bit more developed than what we are. Plus the food and stuff was different then too. So it wasn't just the easy snatch and grab. You know what I'm saying? But in this day and age, why are we not taking care of our elderly the way that we do? And allow them to become lamb to slaughter. Basically, we have allowed them to be in harm's way. We've allowed that. We make that normalized, because they're weak and feeble and carrying on. You see them, they got Parkinson's, so they shake it and carrying on. Back in the day, we call them senile. Now, we call them senile back in the day. Okay. Oh, Lord, she's senile. She losing her mind. Now we call it, and it's progressed now. We call it Alzheimer's. Okay. And carrying on. Oh, she ain't going to remember nothing, honey. Just take her money. Why? Now, here's the other side to that. What about all you children who prey on your parents or your grandparents or your aunties and uncles? You prey on the elderly. How many of y'all sitting around waiting for so-and-so to die because your name is in the will? Because you waiting to get this money. How many of y'all are plotting? Like, y'all ain't going to say that part out loud. How many of y'all are plotting? Okay. Like little Miss Rhoda in the bad seat, honey, you're gonna go up there and knock the woman off the roof, so you could get the little globe, because she promised you the little thing. Okay, or whatever. No, I know she slipped down and said no. She fell down. No, I slipped on purpose. Okay, and carrying on. You about to kill Miss Breedlove, honey? Oh, we gonna go upstairs? Oh, honey. Okay. About to kill Miss Monica Breedlove, honey, because you want the little toy or whatever she gonna give you. Huh? How many of y'all now are looking at ways of trying to off the person who you in the wheel? Huh? Why is it comfortable for you to prey upon your elderly family members, particularly your parents or your grandparents? Many of y'all, unless y'all are real close to your aunties and stuff like that, most of y'all ain't thinking like that. But most of y'all, your parents and your grandparents, because, they getting old and carrying on, blah, blah, blah. Why are you in that particular mode where you feel you have to prey on them? That's gonna be a question that, I may not be qualified to accept the answers for, because that's going to require therapy. I'm not a licensed therapist or nothing like that. But for if anybody is willing to answer that question, I'll chat and be honest. Don't give me the jokey joke. Oh, because they old and hell, I deserve it. I don't want to hear the surface shit. I want the real answer. I want to know have you been harboring hate, and you feel as though hell, they need to hurry up and die because they treated my life like shit or whatever? And you in that particular space? What is it? Huh? Were they mean to you? Or did you perceive it as mean because it was discipline that you didn't like? Yeah, let's talk about that. Okay. Let's talk about that. So why is that? Here's a third topic that comes out of that. And this one here is relatively new. Well, not so much as new, but now that we are about to go into this AI phase. They are filtering in artificial intelligence on us. AI is becoming even more of a thing. Before we just had the goggles and carrying on. Now the goggles done became, they doing much more and more advanced with these little goggles and shit. Artificial intelligence is about to become the death of humanity. Okay. How is it? We don't know how to handle, we haven't even conquered handling social media yet. With folks sitting up there clicking, y'all done make fake pages and carrying on. I don't know who the hell I'm talking to, you know, and this, that, and the third. But I could get a program and change the sound of my voice. And, you know, when I saw that a few years ago, and folks were sitting up there saying, oh, Obama did this and Obama did that, and it was all AI, artificial intelligence? Huh? And it's not that it hasn't been around. See, what we called it in the movies was CGI, computer generated graphics. Okay, wait a minute. What's the I? No, it's CG, computer generated intelligence, or what was the I? Because I just said computer generated graphics, but y'all know what I'm saying. Okay, y'all can sit there and on a green screen, honey, put an entire village of folks, okay, and don't have to hire all those actors, honey. Y'all can sit up there and make it CGI, okay, and things of that nature, and give us a full effect of a movie today versus back in the day when y'all watched the 10 Commandments and they had to hire all those actors and carry on to be all the slaves and things and pull that when y'all watching Moses and things. Okay, they had to hire all them people. Now they could just take a scene, honey, create it. You take 4 or 5 people, honey, and duplicate them out, do some color correction and carry on to change the hair, change the outfit or whatever. And bitch, you got to see a people. So the artificial intelligence has always been here since the onset of the technological age. Because we are into the technological computers and smart this, smart that, you know, our tethering devices. Listen, I'm telling y'all, Enemy of the State is still my Bible when it comes to technology and how we work in this shit. If y'all don't remember Enemy of the State, go watch Enemy of the State. Go watch The Net, about understanding how to use the internet, how they can sit up there and wipe out your existence and replace you by changing your codes and carrying on. Yeah. So the technology has been here. We're now perfecting it. And I'm saying that about AI because if this thing with John Amos is a hoax, and if this is not his daughter that did all of this, then that means somebody created a program, or created a whatever, using her image and her likeness. Okay. And now duping everybody into believing that this is what this is. And so now everybody running, jumping, trying to figure out what's going on, cussed out, you know, whatever the case may be, a real John Amos fan. How'd you do that to your dad? And blah, 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 all of that. So those are the bigger conversations that's coming up out of here, honey. How are we allowing ourselves to get to a point where we don't want to have free thinking? Now, those who are coming out with the AI stuff, you know, there's some good that you can see in it. You know, y'all watched what's the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie I'm thinking of? Total Recall. The woman sitting down there playing tennis with the instructor. It's artificially done. You right there. He sit up there showing you, and all you do is mimicking his hand moves, and you get right into the shadow to make sure you position right, your posture right, to understand you making the swing. That's in the movie. And that movie is how old? That's in the movie. I told y'all this before. Anything that you see in the movie, if the movie is up and ready for you to watch it, that means they're ready for you to know that information. Why? Because no movie is a movie if the FCC does not give it a stamp of approval. It has to meet FCC standards. And if you got something in that movie that they don't want you to talk about yet or whatever, it will not be seen. Think about that for a minute. Think about that for a minute. Because think about that when you do all these government shows and they talk about all these secret files and carrying on and all this corruption in the government that we see in all these different films and things of that nature, that they let us say that, yeah, we could talk about that. That means they're ready for you to know. Back in, when I first went back to school in 2005, in my psychology course, my instructor, the professor, was telling us, we read it in the textbook that they was teaching monkeys and stuff sign language. Okay, wasn't that Gorillas in the Mist with Sigourney Weaver? She was able to talk to the gorilla and teach them sign language and carry on so that they could communicate with the animals. But then prior to Gorillas in the Mist, in the 70s when I was a kid, we had what? Planet of the Goddamn Apes, where the monkeys and shit were talking. Huh? And y'all trying to get us to where? You want to communicate with the animals. Why? An animal that could overpower a human, mind you. Okay? Y'all remember the story of the monkey who tore a woman's face off? The monkey did that. I ain't talking about no big ass ape. The monkey did that. The woman had the pet monkey. Girlfriend come over to the house, the elderly woman. Monkey that got started, ripped half of that woman's face off. And that was just the monkey. You talking about a big ass 800-pound gorilla, orangutan, that could stand up over you and look you dead in your damn eye. And you talking about we want to communicate with them. Why? Teach them how to communicate and understand our culture. Why? The movie said, and then they redid Planet of the Apes. Okay? Redid it. To where this was an alternative world, supposedly. And the apes, the apes are the people, and the people were the animals. But then in the cartoon version of a Planet of the Apes thing, I think this was on the Super Friends. It was on the Super Friends, where Grog, okay, wanted to become like Brainiac or whatever, and he wanted to teach all of his own people the whole idea of being able to communicate in English and carrying on so they could take over the earth. Now, y'all would dismiss that because that was a cartoon. I'm trying to make the correlation. We're sitting up here trying to get understanding animals and this, that, and the other. How many of y'all have seen to where, hell, they sitting up there videotaping the dogs. The dogs are masturbating these days. Dogs. Here. How does a dog know how to masturbate? Think about that for a minute. Huh? Y'all seen these cute little videos and we keep saying, oh my God, honey, you acting just like a person. We sit up there saying, oh, I got fur babies. I got fur babies. For those of you who are animal lovers that treat your animals like they're human, y'all done dress them up. They can't, hell, when they go to the groomer, you're getting them manic and petties and carried on. They're getting their toenails polished and all that shit. And I get it to a point. Only to a point. Okay? But we're not going to be happy until we are in a state of emergency and us as humans have no dominion over the damn world anymore. Now, let me get a little bit that way with y'all for just half of a second. And this here goes to all of my traditional children. You sit up there and preach that God gave us as human beings, honey, the ideas and stuff. We're supposed to have dominion over the world, over the earth, right? Y'all say in Genesis, which is the Bible is written, that God gave Adam dominion over all the animals and the plants and the trees and this, that, and the other, because he was supposed to name everything. It's okay. Now, how in the hell Adam named everything and came up with aardvark or whatever? That sound made up, don't it? Okay. But okay, let's just go for the sake of argument that story is absolutely the inerrant word of God. Okay. You're teaching that, but yet as we go and think that we are God-like and doing all these dastardly things with the earth and stuff, we are slowly losing our dominion over that, aren't we? I'm going to let that marinate for a minute. Okay. We are slowly losing our dominion over that because, hell, the animals are becoming very personified now. Okay, very personified. Okay, we got genetically modified organisms, GMOs, and genetically modified food. We sitting up here splitting and cloning shit. Okay, to where the clones are not about to take over. Have y'all watched the damn thing to where you got digital meat? They said they're showing you like on the digital machine that is supposed to be plastic. You hear me? Y'all sit up here and put whatever this little stuff is, y'all are putting in the thing, and y'all making digital meat. Wait a minute, hold up. No, wait a minute. I'm on this stuff, and let me see if I can pull this up. When I saw that, I gagged. I was like, what in the hell is this? Okay, this technology to where they can take and make the steak. Okay, and all what? No, I think it's on the 3D meat. Yeah, I think that's what that is. Oh yeah, here it is. Aha! Yeah. Yes, God, 3D meat. There we go. Hold on, children. No. Oh no, honey. I want y'all to get all of this. I want you to get it all. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Which one do I want to get? Which one do I want to get, honey? I think I want this one right here. Yeah, I think I want this one right here. Okay. Wait a minute. Can I? Okay, hold on. Let me do this. I'm going to share this screen. Yes, God, I'm going to share the screen. Share screen, honey. Come on, baby. Okay, come on. me share the audio. Okay. Let's look at this.
So it just tastes like pork dumpling, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just going to cut this one in half.
Yeah.
This is absolutely the same texture.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have a clue.
So this is our steak. It's 3D technology, printed using great ingredients to give you a really good eat.
So this is all printed from a machine?
Yes.
And it takes how long?
They're taking about an hour to do the slabs, but as we scale up and we move into Holland, we will be mass producing these steaks.
This is the moment of truth.
This is the moment.
Oh wow, that's beautiful. I'm going to try this one, which I think is the bigger challenge for a chef, right?
That's the steak version. So that's barbecued.
It feels like a sort of Yeah, almost like a brisket, actually, the
Yeah.
way it divides,
That's
right?
how
So you'd,
I personally feel it's the closest to a brisket or a short rib where it's
Right.
slowly cooked and the texture of the meat,
so it's a little bit crumbly.
yeah, it pulls.
It's a perfect receptacle for other stuff that you can put around that meat. But as an entity of in itself, it doesn't have that joyous, deep sort of soul-giving pleasure that meat does.
Is that just because you're used to it, though? I mean, the potential is extraordinary, isn't it?
Well, yeah, it remains to be seen, to be honest. I mean, you know, the lovely chef that I met there today, I said, you know, where have you been working? She said 10 years. I went, where? She said Unilever. And what's she been doing? Cooking shampoo. You know, these are not people who come from a heritage of the culinary arts. You know, meat is something that is incredibly important for people who actually really love their food.
Okay. What'd you say, Princess? 3D printed meat. Nope, nope, and nope. Okay. Artificial intelligence. Okay. How is that for the next wave of genetically modified organisms? You're going to print the damn meat. You heard the girl. She said, oh, it takes about an hour to do. Okay. And that's now because it's new technology. But once it becomes mainstream, honey, and they're able to mass produce this shit, what the hell are you putting in your body? Huh? And again, now you see how this onion just blossomed? I'm going from John Amos and what appears to be a hoax because we're talking elderly care, okay? Because the story was that somebody done jacked him up, was physically abusing him and carried on, stole all this coin, okay? And they got a GoFundMe page up. But the bigger questions, the bigger stuff that come out of that, why do we allow ourselves to accept elderly abuse in any ethnicity, why do we accept that? Why? Why do we have adult people who prey on their parents or their grandparents or their great aunts and carrying on? Why do you prey on that? And if all of this is a hoax, is this AI starting to come into the effect and somebody commandeered someone's identification, their ID and their likeness, and then started some shit? So what is it? Okay. What is it? See, those are the bigger questions that have to be answered, and we got to look into that. But do we want to look into it is the question. Do we really want the answers? Because we're just going along right now. See, right now we're going along just to get along. And one of the things that I hate about the technological age is that sooner or later they're going to force you into it. Y'all know how Facebook does. Every time they're about to get ready to upgrade something or whatever, they tell you, oh, if you don't like it, you can always switch back to the old. Okay, but then after so long, they tell you, oh, we're converting over to this. And if you want to keep your content or whatever, then you need to do it now. Because after such and such and so-and-so day, if you don't convert, honey, this is turning over to it anyway, and you're going to lose out on all your previous shit. Huh? That's not nothing new. Because when we were doing music with the progression when we had vinyl and carrying on, it went from 78s to 33s to 45s. When it was on tapes, we had 8-track tapes First, we were doing reel to reel. Then we had 8 tracks because 8 tracks were portable. 8-track tape went to the cassette tape. The cassette tape went to the damn CD. Okay? And each time they wanted us to go over to the new medium, what did they do? They put more songs on the new medium. My very first time with all of that, I will never, ever forget it because it was a Stephanie Mills album. It was the home album. When I said up there, I had bought the cassette. I happened to see the CD, and the CD got 3 extra damn songs on. I was like, oh, wait. I'm a Stephanie. That's my sister. Okay, what are you talking about? And I don't have all the songs? So what do? We went and bought the CD, which means I had to go buy a CD Walkman now because now I got to hear it because I'm trying to get the damn songs. The remix of something in it was the remix of something in The Way You Make Me Feel. It was I'm More Than a Woman and it was Love Hasn't Been Easy on Me. Those 3 songs were the added songs as the bonus tracks on the CD. Okay. Now, what done happened? We went from CDs. Oh God, and these things didn't even last a long time. But y'all remember when they had the laser discs, the LDs, which were supposed to be they were like the real big CDs. And they were supposed to be non-skipping and this, that, and the other, blah, 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 blah. Okay. I remember that technology because I was in Detroit for the Super Sale. And they were introducing all this new technology and carrying on and blah, 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 blah. So then you had to go get an LD player to play your great, big, huge CD. Okay. And this, that, and the other. Now, the laser disc did nobody get into the damn laser discs like that? We didn't. Okay, so that phased out, right? So now what do we have now? Everything now is a fucking stream. Because see, what happened? See, when VHS went to DVD, that's what they did. The laser disc, the big laser disc became the DVD. See? So now it's all about getting a DVD player. It was compact. You ain't got to worry about the bulkiness of the VHS tape. And don't skip. Bob the got to do. So now, oh, I can't get to it. All my damn VHS tapes, now I got to spend more money because you can't find the VHS player no more. So I can't use them. I can't play the movies. So I got to take all this, transfer it over, or you get you a burner. Remember when they came up with the DVD burners? You could take your VHS and burn it to a DVD. Now we done went from DVDs to damn streaming. So then from streaming, with your stream, you save it in the cloud because you can't download streams unless it's music, if it's an MP3 and you're on the computer. But after that, you got to save that into the cloud. You can't have a tangible anything of that now. Or you can put it on the iPad or something. You know, your phone only got X amount of memory, so you can only do so much on the phone. And what happens? It slowly fades you into it. It slowly gets you into it, child. Again. Well, how do we stop it? Because we can't. Okay. Wait a minute, Princess. What you? I missed that. What you? And this AI is trying to take over everything. Nope, I'm good. That's a disaster waiting to happen. We already see it coming. Look, everybody trigger happy now. Also, he said, she said shit. Everybody already trigger happy off of what you say on Facebook, what you say on IG. We already trigger happy with that. We trigger happy because here I can still go live Okay, I could do a live stream, honey, and whatever happens in real time, it happens. You understand? Somebody gonna save it somewhere, even if it get taken down off of Facebook or off of IG or off of Twitter. Somebody saved it, so it's gonna go around. But it's still left an imprint. See, that's the one thing that folks forget. Whenever you put something out there, it leaves an imprint. That's how, if you don't know coding, all the 00011, y'all watch The Matrix, all that's an imprint that is out there, honey. So somebody who get real cute could go and find that imprint and will be able to pull that and snatch that somewhere, which is why you have an IP address. Your IP address, honey, I don't care what it is. You thinking you running there and you hiding, honey. No, they'll find your ass off of the IP address alone. Unless you got clever and know how to cloak it. Because folks know how to cloak their IP addresses and all of those crazy shit. You understand? Now you see how big this conversation is? It done took us into a whole nother realm. Off of what? Some foolishness. How? And why? Why? I'm going to let that be fine. I got one more story, honey. One more story. I'm going to let y'all go. I'm going to be real quick with this one. How many of y'all remember the movie Paris is Burning? Paris is Burning, darling, honey. OPULENCE. Opulence. You own everything. Everything is yours. Y'all remember that? Reading. Let's talk about reading. Okay. Well, I mentioned that because this being Pride Month, I just came across an article that says that Venus Extravaganza, now I know that's what I call my grandbaby, right? Venus Extravaganza, her home has been declared as a historic landmark. This is dated from May 24th, 2023. This is coming out of the LGBTQ Nation News, okay? And I'm going to read this article. The home of one of the breakout stars of Jenny Livingston's influential documentary, Paris is Burning, is being declared a historic landmark. For the 1990 film, which documented New York City's ballroom subculture in the late 1980s, Livingston and her crew interviewed Venus Pelagati Extravaganza at the Jersey City, New Jersey home she shared with her grandmother at the time. In those scenes, the aspiring model is seen lounging on her bed discussing her dreams for the future. Now, NJ.com reports that the city is in the process of designating the house at 343.5 8th Street in the Hamilton Park neighborhood as a historic landmark to honor Venus. Not for my family, but for the transgender community, the LGBT community, that's historic. Venus's older brother, John Pelagati Jr., told the Jersey Journal. It's just a wonderful feeling. We spent so many years there as a family. Venus Extravaganza was in her early 20s when she appeared in Paris is Burning. The film centered, okay, I'm not going to read all that because they're talking about the movie. Okay. And she was killed in 1988. Okay. Speaking for the Jersey City Historic Preservation Commission in February, ballroom scholar Michael Roberson said that the designation of her childhood home as a landmark will send a message to trans women that they matter. As NJ.com reports, Roberson was one of several people, including Giselle Alicia, the current mother of the House of Extravaganza, to testify before the commission in favor of the designation. While Jersey City's planning board was reportedly scheduled to consider the proposal on Tuesday, the city already celebrated the designation on Transgender Day of Visibility. Venus Pelagati Extravaganza's story is our story, Pole star Dominique Jackson said at the March 31st event. attended by Jersey City Mayor Stephen Fulham, members of the Palagatti family, members of the House of Extravaganza community organization, and others in the ballroom community. Venus got love from us all, her younger brother said. Her younger brother, Louis Palagatti, told the New Jersey's News 12 at the time. But most of her love came right from this house, from our grandmother, Justina. And it goes on and on and on. Okay. But I thought that I want to highlight that because my God, okay, what an honor. What an honor. Could you imagine that? That baby was killed in 1988. Okay, if she were living today, I think she was probably, looking at her, she was probably 5 years older than me, I want to say. Okay, so she would be going on 58, if not 58 right now. Okay, but to imagine that after all these years, that the impact that her young life had made through a film that was considered to be just bogus. A lot of people, you only gave it to the alphabet children. You know, when straight people saw it or whatever, they criticized it and carried on not understanding what it was. For those of you who say that trans this and trans that, it should be this and you ain't that and blah, 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 blah. This here is a wonderful, wonderful honor. It's a wonderful honor. And oftentimes you get the far, whichever side of the birthday, on the left or the right, the children, honey, who don't believe that people matter, the children who are very eccentric in their beliefs, you know, they're the radical portions of whatever, who sit up there and don't want to recognize our transgender citizens for their identity that they present. Y'all done made a joke about it. It is the running thing that, oh, because I can say that I'm a turtle, I'm a shellless turtle, honey, who wants to live my life as a fucking frog, and I identify as a shellless turtle frog. Okay, because y'all get so flippant with that shit, because you don't understand what it means. You get so flippant, and then those of you who make a mockery of it by saying, oh, I'm going to live my life this way. You know, oh, because I identify as, bitch. You know, for those of that, we had to go through that. Okay, this honor is everything. And wait a minute, did I upload this other video? I'm going to play this other video because this child here got on my damn nerves. And I did not yet. Okay, that means, never mind. I'm not going to play it. There's a pastor that I was going to play from Twitter who sat up and said that those who are parents of transgender children who will go out and allow for them to have their SRSs or whatever, or whatever body augmentation that they have. He said that these parents need to be shot in the back of the head. And yet you want to justify that kind of violence by saying, well, the Bible says that if you go against God, you're supposed to be stoned to death, that the wages of sin is death. But that don't come from you, that comes from God. So this doesn't supposedly, right? Right. This honor for Venus. And then to have her brothers there. And in the movie, they didn't talk about a lot about her family, you know, outside the fact that when she knew she was trans, she left. Okay. Because she didn't want to bring about embarrassment to carry on. But you're talking about a woman, you know, she's a young trans woman who is of Latina descent. You know, and of course you're talking about in the 80s that carrying on, you think black folks, Black folks and the Latino community, honey, we run neck and neck when it comes down to shaming the family because you that way. You know? And to have her brothers there and say yes, and then to honor the grandmother, Justina, okay, or whatever. And they decided to have her childhood home recognized as a historic landmark. That there is everything. That there is everything. And I think I'm going to end it right there for the night. That's a wonderful, wonderful honor. Miss Venus Extravaganza, darling. Mwah. Okay. You want to talk about reading? Let's talk about reading. What's wrong with you, Pedro? You going through it? You're going through some kind of psychological change in your life? Touch the skin, honey. Touch all the skin. Okay? You just can't take it. You're nothing but an overgrown orangutan. That's Miss Venus, honey. That was Miss Venus. I love it. Well, listen. It's a Friday night. We're coming up on the witching hour, honey. So those of you who are trying to get out, to go out into the nightlife or whatever, if that's your call, I'm gonna bid you guys adieu for now. We will see you guys on the next time. Hopefully it will be tomorrow. But y'all know I'm going through. And listen, I just took some new headshots of Karen on, so I'm gonna post them up. I think I'm gonna post them up and let y'all pick which one I should use or whatever. Wait a minute, before we go, y'all make sure, for those of you listening, go to my page, darlings. Go to my page and like my page, honey. And then if y'all go, you know what? I'm gonna put this campaign together. I got 5 on it, okay? I got 5 on the campaign, honey. Listen, y'all want me to win or close to it or whatever, we got to put some money in this kitty. All right? So if y'all got $5 on it, all I need is $5 from everybody, child. On Facebook, I got like 4,900 friends. Okay, do the math, honey. If everybody could give me $5, just 5. Okay, that's a cup of Starbucks, child. That's half of a drink of a cocktail, honey, or whatever the case may be. If you could donate that, that'd be absolutely fantastic to the campaign, because we qualify in August. I want to make sure I got all the coin together for that, and we got to get signs and T-shirts and this, that, and the other, honey. There's a lot to do, okay? And I got to get some more walking shoes, because we got to go up and down this thing. Wait a minute. I haven't played this in a while here, and it should have been one of my staples, because I had to do my commercial.
Let's sit down and talk about what we need. We're in this together. Ooh, let's do the right thing. Yeah, we all win in the end. Oh yeah, let's do the right thing. Yeah, we all win in the end. We need to do the right thing.
Okay. Yes, darling. We need to do the right thing, honey. We need to do the right thing. Okay. So listen, go to my Facebook, that Facebook page, Demetrius Taylor for Mayor. Go like it. Scroll down the page. The QR code is there. Y'all see my Cash App right there. If you're comfortable just wanting to do it to my Cash App, send it to my Cash App right there. Everybody can send me $5, baby. We can sit down here. We can rock this thing. My accountants and stuff told me that, you know, we're trying to raise as much money as possible. I think if I could do 100K in this campaign, I think we could do it. I think we could do it. It's a shame that it costs that much, that kind of money, but we got it costs because we got to get materials, you know. And then, we need volunteers and all that kind of stuff. We got to set this up and set that up and carry it on. And because, we got to rent the spaces and this, that, and that, all of that, that's at a cost. Okay. And so we got to get this together. If I do cookouts or whatever, we got to buy the meat and this, that, and that. They don't know me. They're not going to, a lot of businesses, they want to get paid, especially now that we are post the lockdown and carrying on. Folks are still trying to recoup coin. So go to that Facebook page, honey, or if you want, you can just put 5 on it, honey. I will play the song. I got 5 on it. Okay. Y'all remember that? Okay. And let's make this happen. Okay. If you believe in me, if you don't believe in me, honey, that's cool. If you don't think that I'm qualified enough or whatever, that's fine too. But tell me why. I challenge you to tell me why. Okay. Tell me what you think my deficiencies are. Okay. That will give me time to, see if you're right or wrong and do whatever I need to do. But let me hear your thoughts about that. But do all that over there on the Demetrius Taylor for Mayor page on Facebook. Okay. So having said all that, my darlings, listen, I'm going to let you guys go. You may finish all of your crumpets, my darling, because the tea has been dished. And you are dishing tea, darlings, with Big Meat. And in the absence of Minister Lavelle Hayes, okay, formerly known as Big Red. He's the big guy ally. And Aunt Nikki, honey. Oh, y'all know what? Aunt Nikki's birthday was on the 6th. June 6th was Aunt Nikki's birthday, honey. And usually, y'all know I usually do a happy birthday together thing, but I have not been able to put that together. I'll probably do it tomorrow if we're on, because Mook's birthday is coming up too. And right now, I was it today or was it tomorrow? Her daughter Mook Millions and her daughter Keisha's birthday is also this month too. All these damn Geminis. Okay. So we got all that going on and carrying on. So darlings, y'all sit up there, y'all send Aunt Nikki, honey, some birthday greetings and things, this, that, and third, and we're going to make that happen. But please, if you love me like you say you do, honey, tell all of your family, your friends, okay, your cohorts, your good Judies, honey, your besties, to come on in, to like, subscribe, and to share on whatever platform that you see. Share it on all the platforms that you have, honey, so we can grow this thing. If you hate me, think I'm stupid, think I'm silly, think I cuss too much or whatever, you want to neck roll me, think I'm a son of a bitch or whatever, you can tell all of your motherfucking enemies to come on in, to like, subscribe, to share on all the different platforms or whatever, because I need you to understand that everything that we're doing here at 3 the Hard Way, the Syndicate, that's what we call ourselves, 3 the Hard Way, the Syndicate, honey, everything that we're doing, honey, in any way, shape, style, form, and or fashion will move forward. So on that note, my darlings, honey, again, you may finish all of your crumpets because the tea has been dished, and you've been dishing tea, darlings, with Big Meat. Until the next time, darlings. And scene.